All right, guys, welcome to another week of PGA Speculator. This week we're going to cover the Northern Trust, and then we're going to go to some basics of golf betting, covering topics such as favorites versus good value bets. And then we're going to round out the week by giving some betting recommendations. So let's get it started, Daniel.
Hey, Mike. Yeah,
Um,
thanks. So yeah, this week's the Northern Trust. It's the first tournament in the Fedex Cup Playoffs. So we're down to 125 players. Basically the top 125 guys in the Fedex Cup standings. Um, Look, this week all the books have John Rahm as the favorite. Hard to argue with. He and Morikawa are the top strokes gained tee to green guys. And Rahm is a statistically better putter than Morikawa, so that makes sense. A few like random notes this week. Otherwise, they're playing at Liberty National in New Jersey. They've hosted this tournament at Liberty National a few times. Not always there. Previous winners include Adam Scott, who played well last week, and Patrick Reed. The scores at Liberty National have jumped around. Some good, some not so good. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes there this week. Um, one further note is because it's the top 125 guys, there's sort of no suckers this week. Um, Everyone that's in form is there, and it means the probabilities for any given player are lower, sort of more closer to like a major tournament, perhaps. Um, yeah,
what about the course? Like, are there like special things about the course that we should watch out for? Are there?
Nothing of note. Like I was saying, it's sort of the scores have jumped around a bit. I think the last time they played it there, the winning score was 16 under, and before that, it was something like 9 under. So it's sort of hard to read too much there. It's certainly not an easy course, but it's also not especially difficult. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we didn't have that much particular insight in tuning our parameters for the model. But yeah, let's go directly to the meat of the episode, which is since we're starting this whole series of golf betting episodes, like let's cover some of the basics, right? Like let's talk about um like what does it mean when you're trying to make a bet on these like bookmakers, and in particular, like we see a lot of news about, hey, like these guys are the favorites to win. Should I bet on this guy? So like, what does it mean like when someone is favorites, and then are they all often like good or bad bets to make?
Yeah, so when someone's a favorite, it just means that generally speaking, statistically, they're most likely to win. So this week, I think everyone basically agrees that John Rahm is most likely to win the tournament, and that's not a controversial idea. I think where things go off the tracks a little bit then is that often people say, okay, he's the guy that's most likely to win. We should put a bet on him. And that doesn't actually make a lot of sense because it's very dependent on the price that you're offered by a bookmaker, or whether it's you're on Betfair and a two-sided market, or one of the other direct bookmakers. If you think that his chances of winning are 5%, and his odds are $10, then 5% implies he'll win 1 in 20 tournaments. So if you just think through doing that bet over and over again 20 times, you're likely to lose 19 of them and then win on the 20th time.
Let's slow down, like for people like me who is not like super familiar with these odds numbers. um so if someone is like very smart and sophisticated and they want to offer odds and they want to bet on a number, right? So like if they think there's a 10% chance for John Rahm to win, what are the odds that they
Then
should be
it'll be
taking?
$10. The price will be $10,
Okay,
and so if
okay.
it's 10%.
So if the book is offering more, then they should take it, right?
Yeah, that's right. If the book is offering
Okay.
more, it's sort of like if you think that the chances are 10% and the price should hence be $10. If the book is offering, say, $20, then that means, if you think through that, and you sort of got to think through these things. You can't sort of mechanically go from, thought to result. You got to think through, okay, if you think there's a 1 in 10 chance, what that means is that 9 times you'll lose your money, right? and then on the 10th time, you'll win. Now, how much money do you win when you win, and how much money do you lose when you lose is the question you've got to answer. And so 9 times in that case that you just laid out, you'll lose your $1. So you're down $9. Now, if on the 10th time, right, you win, and you win 20, then you've actually made a lot. You put your $1 down and you've gotten back 20. So you've actually made 19 in that case profit. 19 profit plus all the $9 of losses means you just won $10 over if this was repeated.
Right. So if the bet is available to repeat itself, then I'm going to expect to keep losing $1 for every like for every 10 times I expect to lose $1, I will maybe win once, like expected to win once and win $20.
That's right. And so you've got to look, well, how much do you make when you win? In our hypothetical here, it'd be $20. And how much do you make? How much do you lose when you lose?
And how many bets it takes to get there?
Exactly. What's the frequency that you need? So you've got to go through it. And look, most of the math is pretty straightforward. It's not rocket science. And a lot of people watching this will sort of be thinking, yeah, I know this already, but it's worth just sort of going through and laying out the difference between who is a favorite and who's actually a good bet. Mostly because there's usually the favorites aren't actually a great bet. Usually they're a big name. People are overestimating the likelihood that they win, underestimating the amount of randomness in golf, especially on the putting green. I mean, it's just like, there's a lot of randomness on the putting green. That's why you see a lot of guys come out of nowhere and win.
Right. So I want to cement this point. I'm just basically repeating what you're saying, but there is this idea in both the betting market and the financial market that is about efficiency of the market. So like if a lot of participants are sophisticated and they're informed and they participate, and the way they make bets and the prices that they make bet at will move their available price in the market. And that price itself, if everyone is sophisticated and the volume is high, will reflect the actual realistic best guess odds of the event actually panning out.
Yeah, I think that's right. That's right. Yeah, if you look at somewhere like Betfair, if you look at the odds where that's a betting market where you can go and lay or bet, like you can take both sides of a bet. A couple of things will happen. People with a lot of money and a lot of sophistication will push the given market in a certain direction. But there's a second force there is that if you're in there taking bets and you kind of suck, you're going to lose all your money and you're going to disappear from the market anyway. And this is what happens in financial markets, right? It's not just the fact that people move the markets, it's that the people who are losing money tend to disappear. So you're sort of left with people that are smarter and they end up with all the money. So yeah, so the betting markets, the Betfair, for example, will be pretty efficient pretty quickly. But even if you look at the other sports books, if a bookmaker offers odds that are too good to the end users, they'll go bankrupt. And if they offer prices that are too bad, then the bettors will go to some other bookmaker and the bookmaker will go bankrupt. So you've got marketplaces like Betfair that will sort of naturally, go down to the right price. And then the bookmaking is an institution. Only the bookmakers that sort of put good prices up will be allowed to stay because the rest of them will go bankrupt. So yes, it's an analogous thing to the financial markets.
Right. So that being said, because like the reason why we are interested in this golf market is because we do think there is a lot of inefficiency in the market and that it's not as efficient as say the stock market. And like some of the popular reasons are probably like some of the biggest reasons are probably that like there are 125 players in this tournament, but like a very selected few of them are well known and disproportionately well known, and people overrate these players, right? Like so that's the fundamental reason why we think these markets are not efficient. Yeah. And while we're there, we build a simulation, and we every episode we're gonna release some of our recommended bets of the week and for the audience reference. So were you gonna say something?
No, that's absolutely right. I just want to reiterate what you're saying that, yeah, we don't believe that the market is especially efficient here. And it's for that exact reason. You've got probably, depending on how interested you are in golf, you might know 20 of the players, you might know 40 of them. But actually, there's 100 people at any given week can win. And especially when you put together all the good guys like this week, there's that sort of the bias towards people that you know, but there's just more randomness in the game by nature, which is the second source of bias. Is that I think people misunderstand the randomness in golf, whereby in his prime, Tiger Woods, he can't actually restrict another player playing well. Like he has no effect over someone else in the field. To compare that to something like tennis, where the 10th best player in the world in tennis can come out and be made to look a fool against a guy like Djokovic or perhaps Federer in his prime or Nadal. That same thing doesn't happen in golf. So you get more randomness in any given tournament. And the randomness on the greens is significant. And so, yeah, but boiling it back to what you said, yeah, those are the two main factors. The fact that people bet just on people that they know, on players that they know, and that there's more randomness and a lack of control from the good players that beat the lesser players.
Right, right. So shall we go to the betting recommendation?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. So this week, so on bets for the win, and look, different bookmakers will offer different types of bets. We're going to get into that in the future episodes on all the different bets, because there's numerous and it's just expanding. But for simplicity to start with, winner bets, things we like this week. Keegan Bradley, we simulate him at a should be priced at $50, which means that we think he's about a 2% chance of winning. But we're seeing pricing at various books in the 150 to 200 right now. On Betfair is about $200. So you're gonna lose this bet 49 out of 50 times, but when you win it, you'll get $200. So this is a very good bet over the long haul. Corey Connors, similar. We think he should be priced at $50 via our simulations. We're seeing him in the 75 to 80 range at various books. And then worst bet this week, Jon Rahm. Our model suggests that Jon Rahm is the most likely player to win this golf tournament. However, we predict him in about a 5% chance. If we change some of the parameters, we can get him to about a 7% chance. But books right now have him at sort of $9, $10, $11, which suggests
Right,
like
so
about 10% chance. So it sort of fits in with your example, Mike, before. So don't bet on Rahm, and if you have a Betfair account, go and maybe go and lay him as actually a decent bet. Top 10 bets, Charlie Hoffman looks good via our simulations, should be about $8. And we're seeing him at about 12. Some of the books will have him something more like 11 or 10, but still, this is a good solid bet here. And then top 20, Siwoo Kim played great last week. Looks like he's in pretty good form. Top 20, we predict about a 1 in 4 chance. And the books are showing somewhere around $5.30 on Betfair right now. So that's a good top 20 bet. And in future, we'll cover some of the matchups, like the head-to-head matchups that are available on the betting markets. But that's it for this week.
Yeah. Thanks, Daniel. Yeah. So in later episodes, we're gonna cover like, hey, like what are the high level differences between like the winner bet versus the top X bet. Like concisely, they just basically the top X bets you can place safer bets that see returns more frequently, but for lower amount of total return. But yeah, like that's for later discussion. Thanks for tuning in this week to PGA Speculator. As usual, guys, don't bet more than what you can afford to lose. This is not investing. This is just speculation. And even positive expected value bets have a high probability of losing. So be careful out there, guys. See you next
Thanks,
time.
Mike. Take care.